Hello and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. Now for that launch I promised you. Yes, I have the staging set up so that you stage the lower engines before you stage the upper engines. And the idea behind this was originally that you could fly with just the lower engines for part of the way and then switch on the upper engines for the extra kick that you need, which could actually still make sense for lower mass payloads, but with this one, that idea doesn't really work out. So we need both on. And of course, I think I can still save a little bit of fuel by turning on the second set partially down the runway instead of up near the top of the runway. We of course are testing that theory right now. And we fall off the end of the runway. That's another thing. I actually need to make the landing gear, what do you call it? I need to make the landing gear, there's a word for what I'm trying to say, as there often is. I need to possibly move the landing gear on the rear slightly forward so that they're more in line with the center of mass so that we can take off a little easier. As you can see, we have a sufficient thrust to mass ratio to go up at this angle, which is good because, you know, kind of need that. Well, don't need it, but considering these engines are not as efficient as other jet engines, we do kind of need it, especially if you look at the liquid fuel diagram, chart, bar graph thing, whatever you want to call it, on the left. We don't have too much of it to use. I like how Bill Kerman right now, oh, well, he moved now, but he looked like he was very worriedly looking at a dial, like he noticed something was going horribly awry, and no one else seemed to notice. Well, I mean, Bob kind of noticed as well, but Jeb's just like, yeah, I get to fly this giant jet! Oh, it's so awesome! Meanwhile, the two trainees in the back are just kind of like, oh god, By the way, what do you think of the vertical stabilizer setup I got at the back here? Originally I had one like typical, like just straight up vertical stabilizer, but then I realized I was covering part of the cargo bay when I'm like, oh wait, I can't do that, I need to have that open. So then I very quickly managed to put these parts on in this manner to kind of give us some vertical stabilities. And I think they look alright. In fact, actually, when I started, it was just a quick rush solution, but after using them for a little while, after doing this for a little while, I've come to quite like them. Also, yes, we're starting to have different engine sounds, it sounds like, which is interesting. These intakes and/or these engines are a bit overpowered. I don't know if that's intentional or not, but they are a bit overpowered, and we've hit 25 kilometers. This is a point where I'm going to start turning down our ascent, hopefully. This is the idea. I didn't do this last time, but I'm hoping that by doing so, I can get us moving through the atmosphere a little bit longer with more thrust going towards the horizontal than the vertical, while we still have jet engine thrust so that we can get to a higher velocity before the engines finally flame out at about 40 kilometers. If I remember correctly, that's about where they'll flame out, and we're actually approaching that very rapidly, despite my best efforts to curb our, well, not my best efforts, but despite my efforts to curb our going upness. Yeah, that sounds right. I totally know what I'm talking about, he said, lying. And at this point, well, not quite at this point, but very, very soon we should switch over to using our oxidizer, and actually we've already done that. So let me cut the thrust because our apoapsis is actually above the atmosphere. In fact, that's something I'm going to have to put in like the operating manual. I'm saying it has one, it doesn't, but I'm saying it does. That's something that I'm going to put in the operating manual, that as soon as you switch over, cut off the intakes, which I had forgotten to do until just now. Yes, they are closed now. And what was the other thing? Shut off the intakes and shut off the engines, because, you know, we need to actually save that power for the top of our arc to try to get into orbit. So at this point, we're just going to time warp a little bit to get up closer to our apoapsis, and then see if we have enough fuel to circularize, which I highly doubt, but we are going to try. And we're in space now, so I can use the regular time warp instead of the physics time warp, and now we are getting kind of close. So like really kind of close, as in like we're about to pass it like right now. So I'm going to turn on the throttle and throttle up. And we're out of fuel before I could even finish throttling up, which shows that we cannot go into space. Well, we can go into space. We can't stay there just yet. Can't stay there, which is unfortunate. In fact, I'm going to turn off the monoprop usage. Actually, no, I'm not, because we're listing. But I think I'm going to try to minimize monoprop usage so that we can use the monoprop during re-entry if necessary to help us get a little further, which I don't think we will. But let's see how much oxidizer we had left over this time around, because it should be, you know, a lot less, but it might not be a lot less. Oh, okay, there we go. We got some oxidizer there, and a full tank. We had one extra tank, basically. One extra tank. Once we take out that other tank, there'll be a little less mass coming up with us, and also once we fly it better, obviously, to, you know, take advantage of the atmosphere more, we should be able to get into space and get into orbit. But for now, I'm going to try to land again. Here we are, entering quietly at 4 times time acceleration. One downside to the noise gate I have on this mic is that I can't whisper into the mic anymore. I used to do that. I can't do that anymore. Okay, burning, fire, 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 fire everywhere. This is great. Look at it from back here, because they're like freaking out and panicking. Well, one of them is at least. The other is Jeb. And then we're just kind of like, we can't see anything. And then like in the corner of the freaking cockpit, you just see the ground appear. Hold on, I'm hitting the wrong button. There we go. Okay. Why are we turning so much? Probably my fault. Oh yeah, we're still in time warp. That's why we're turning so much. Crap. Yep. Okay, this thing, wow. This thing can pull out of a frickin' dive like nobody's business. Alright. So I don't think we're going to make it much past this island again, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and do kind of the same maneuver I did last time, except this time it looks like we have more altitude to work with and a better controlling plane, which is actually a great thing because, well, it controls better. That's kind of self-explanatory. I don't know why I felt the need to try to explain that, but I did. And so we're going to fly out this way just a little bit longer, and then we're going to turn around and swoop back. Let's see, our surface speed is dropping quite badly, and our altitude is falling fairly fast, but not too fast. I think we'll be okay, not sure. Oh, we're out of electric charge. Hold on. Oops, that's... Come on. Give me the... Oh, yeah. I was trying to use the old shortcut. Alright. Infinite... What is it? Oh, we don't have an infinite... We don't have an infinite electricity? Hold on. Pause the game. There's no infinite electricity? That reminds me, I forgot to add solar power and probably an RTG to this. So yeah, we'll need to do that. In any case, it made the noise because I unpaused. In any case, actually we can go a little further this way without turning around, I think. Because we want to give ourselves a little bit of space to turn as well. Let's turn this way slightly. We're going to let the nose drop just a little bit. What happens if I do turn on all the lights? Nothing at all. There's no cockpit lights. Okay. That's slightly saddening, but it's alright. Alright, time to start our turn. And by turn, I mean mad dash to try to turn around. Oh god, no. The problem is we're starting to lose... I think I started this turn far too late, actually. I think I should have started it when we were at 3 kilometers up instead of 2.5, because our surface speed is slow enough and we don't have enough vertical height left to really make it back over to the island, I don't think. Then again, I could be wrong. I mean, maybe we'll survive this. I honestly don't see it happening, though. We're just falling a bit too fast and in the wrong direction. Then again, this version does glide a heck of a lot better. than previous. So we might still be able to make it. We might. Depends how long this glide will be able to sustain us before we utterly fail. We're at extremely high angles of attack, which in real life would mean instant death. In Kerbal Space Program means slow possibility of death. I mean, like, sometimes it can be no big deal, other times it's, yeah, you're dead, but it's sometimes pretty hard to tell, which is kind of funny if you think about it. Or not. I like the sky. It's like grayish and bright over there and orange and it's not that pretty, but it's all right. I really should add visual enhancements, mods, because those would be cool. And we're not doing too bad. I'm gonna go ahead and push the nose down to get us to fall faster, and the point of that is to build up some speed and then flare up at the very end to try and come down at the right angle. And here goes. Ooh, that's not gonna go well, I think, in a moment. Ooh, it might. It might. Come on, where's the ground? There's the ground! Ah, shit! Ooh. Oh, just hold it together, hold it together. And, whoa, we bounced. Alright, brakes are on, listing. And we have, well, say any landing you can walk away from is a good one. In this case, I'd say that was a good landing. Thanks for watching. As always, see you in space with that piece of this plane going off. I forgot for a moment how to stop my recording, which is brilliant. That's bullshit. Also, I'm getting messages that I should check because they're important.